It is Friday night. Your phone is glowing with messages from 6 apps, yet you feel completely, utterly alone. Your WhatsApp groups are pinging with jokes you are only half following, and your notifications have not stopped all day. Despite this high volume of inputs, the overarching sensation is a quiet, ambient feeling of being on the outside looking in. You are watching everyone else experience warmth and connection, but you are viewing it through a thick pane of glass. If you experience this specific type of isolation, you are not broken, and you are certainly not ungrateful. We exist in the most hyper-connected era in human history, yet we are suffering a widespread epidemic of loneliness. We have built a social landscape that swaps the messy biology of actual belonging for a fast, cheap illusion of digital contact. Modern connection, as we define it now, functions as low-friction contact. Every time you get a like, a fire emoji, or a read receipt, your brain registers a small, specific social reward. This comparison table shows exactly how that works. That immediate digital reward is driven by dopamine, visible on the left side as a series of sharp, volatile spikes and crashes. But dopamine is the hormone of seeking, not of actual satisfaction. Compare that to the smooth, sustained baseline curve on the right. That is belonging, the biological nutrient of being truly known by the people around you. Because true belonging requires high friction and vulnerability, you cannot substitute it with a polished profile picture. You can easily maintain 500 digital contacts while having absolutely zero actual belonging. When your brain detects that gap between your number of contacts and your lack of belonging, it generates that isolated glass wall feeling as a literal warning signal. Consuming low-friction digital connection is like eating a bag of salty chips when you are starving. It keeps you chewing, but provides zero nutrients, leaving you permanently hungry. Your body processes social isolation as a physical emergency, regardless of how you label the mood. Look at researcher Julianne Holt-Lundstad's data. The mortality risk of chronic isolation rises to the exact same level as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Our bodies drastically overreact to being alone, because for our ancestors, isolation without the safety of a tribe meant certain death. When you feel that glass wall today, your brain is actually shifting your body into a physical survival mode. We can measure this response. Your cortisol levels aggressively spike, heart rate variability radically changes, and your immune system defends. Being in a crowded Slack channel or group text does not shut off the survival alarm because your brain requires depth to feel safe. By substituting real community with digital noise, we save time on socializing, but we incur a massive physiological debt that physically damages our bodies. We also must look at how we measure our own value against the broader digital tribe. In 1954, Leon Festinger outlined social comparison theory. Humans evaluate themselves by looking at others, an ancient survival mechanism for figuring out where we stand in the group. This graphic demonstrates how social media hijacks that mechanism. On the left is your reality, mundane data points like laundry and boredom. On the right is their highlight reel, vacations and promotions. Your primitive brain processes these polished reels as normal reality. The psychological outcome is brutal. You are constantly measuring your raw, unedited interior against everyone else's fabricated, heavily edited exterior. In this uneven comparison, your reality always loses. Passive scrolling forces us to play a rigged game against digital ghosts. It distracts us from our own lives and systematically erodes our self-esteem. We need a way out of this trap. We need to shift from diagnosing the problem to running an actionable audit of your daily social diet. This chart measures social habits. Vertical maps impact, shallow contact to deep belonging. Horizontal maps vulnerability, curated exterior to messy interior. Mindless scrolling is bottom left, trade observing for participating. Scaling contacts is bottom right, breadth guarantees burnout. Top right is our goal, sharing an unfiltered struggle. Connection provides contact, but belonging provides the profound experience of being known. Audit your investments this week to find your real community. Stop feeding your mind digital junk food when your biology is desperately begging. Over the last few decades, we actively dismantled the physical architecture that kept us together. For most of human history, finding your group was not a task you had to manage. It was guaranteed by your geography. Sociologists call this concept passive social infrastructure. If you lived in a neighborhood, you shared physical space with people, and you saw them consistently without having to schedule it. The framework for this relies heavily on what we call the third place. Your first place is your home. Your second place is your work. The third place is the local diner, the public park, or the community center, environments where people gather without a specific agenda. Over time, those physical spaces became harder to find, and we eagerly traded them for digital equivalents. Forums, group chats, and endless scrolling feeds replaced the neighborhood block. But you cannot lean against a digital wall. By migrating our lives onto screens, our society lost the structural glue that naturally forces people into each other's orbits. Back in the year 2000, a sociologist named Robert Putnam published a book called Bowling Alone. He had noticed a strange shift in American behavior. The data showed that more people were going bowling than at any other point in history. However, they were no longer joining organized, recurring leagues with their neighbors. They were paying for their own lanes and bowling completely alone. We took that exact bowling trend and applied it to everything. We want our groceries left silently at the front door, so we don't have to talk to a cashier. We prefer working from our living rooms to avoid the awkward small talk by the office kettle. We optimized our entire existence for frictionless living. The problem is that friction is the raw material of belonging. It is the mild annoyance of dragging yourself to a meetup when you are tired. It is the incidental, repetitive conversation with the guy at the corner store that slowly turns into a reliable friendship over 3 years. By systematically designing our routines to remove the inconvenience of dealing with other people, we engineered the total removal of intimacy from our daily lives. Bandwidth is the total richness of information a channel can carry. Face-to-face interaction is a high-bandwidth channel. Our brains evolved to process massive social data like tone and eye contact. Texting is ultra-low bandwidth, delivering only bare, unadorned words. Surviving on this diet takes a massive psychological toll. Because the biological data is missing, your brain is forced into overdrive to decode simple messages. You spend serious energy wondering if a thumbs-up emoji was meant sarcastically. That mental labor leaves us feeling exhausted and empty, even if we've sent 100 messages. Left alone, chronic loneliness triggers hypervigilance. Your brain begins scanning for social threats everywhere, interpreting perfectly neutral events, like a friend taking too long to text back, as severe personal rejections. Gen Z currently reports the highest rates of loneliness on record. They have the highest volume of digital contact of any generation, yet they are starving ancient, socially hungry brains on a high-volume, low-bandwidth diet. We cannot magically resurrect the passive neighborhood infrastructure of the 1950s. The geography of our daily lives is different now, which means we have to rewrite our own rules of engagement. This visual represents the core shift we have to make. We must intentionally choose interaction depth over interaction volume. In your digital life, that means picking up the phone for a 10-minute high-bandwidth voice call instead of maintaining an ultra-low bandwidth text thread for 2 hours. In the physical world, it means committing to the friction of a recurring local group. It means showing up to see the exact same 5 people every Tuesday evening, even when the weather is bad and your couch looks appealing. Our modern technology made making contact incredibly fast and easy, but it made true belonging incredibly slow and difficult. The warmth you are looking for still exists, but you will only find it in the messy, unedited friction of real life. So close out of this app and go call a friend. No texting allowed.